Get great at receiving fun, receiving your desires, receiving abundance, receiving clarity, receiving confidence, receiving insight. It's all absolutely, absolutely available to you. All right, beautiful queens. So looking forward to being here with you today. Come on in, say hello in the chat. Let me know where you are zooming in from. It is always such an extraordinary time being here together with you beauties from around the world. Hello from the English countryside. And from Michigan, love seeing that. Hi, New Jersey in the house. Oh, time to get the glasses out here. Let's see where all these beauties. Chicago, I love it. Who else we got? San Francisco, Washington, the north of England, very cool. From London, I'm actually headed there tomorrow. Cumbria in the UK, Milwaukee, I love it. Prague, come on in, my beautiful ladies. It is so glorious to see you all just showing up for yourself, showing up for owning your throne, showing up for really being available to create the life of your dreams and actually use the power that is inside of us. And the way that we're going to be talking about the power that's inside of you today is all about creating your epic future. On day one, if you are just joining us, we talked about really owning your past. Day two, we talked about owning your present. You can get those replays if you haven't yet gotten them. And now it's really about owning your future. So this work that we have been given, meaning the artistry of our lives, is really the ultimate adventure. And it's going to be so important that we free ourselves from the limitations, from the fears, from the can'ts, from the smallness, from the insecurities, and all of the lack thoughts and beliefs that come in that have us just going through the motions, that have us living anything other than the totally fulfilled existence that we completely desire for ourselves. Now, the really cool part about the way that I'm going to be teaching this today and moving forward in the 10-week course of Own Your Throne is that it's not about working harder. It's not about working more hours. It's about accessing universal intelligence so that you can literally bend time and space and draw opportunities to you. It's about giving yourself such clarity, confidence, and self-permission that you get to say no when it's a no, and you get to say yes when it's a yes. This has you showing up in your life and thriving in such a way so that you're not just going through the motions with busy work. You're not just under earning. You're not just giving it all away. You're not saying yes when you want to say no. This is also, this is very spiritually based, but it's also very scientifically based. It's very much the 80-20 rule. Like, we know that 80% of our time, 80% of the stuff that we focus on, 80% of our thoughts, it's just almost pointless. It's the 20%. It's the 20% that we spend the time on that gives us 80% of the results. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on here to really help you understand this power that is inside of you isn't meant to be worn out, isn't meant to be exhausted, isn't meant to be in lack, isn't meant to be living on too little, and definitely is not meant to be doing a bunch of stuff that you don't absolutely enjoy. Allowing yourself to be the queen of your empire and really owning your throne puts you in a position of power that has you have a different level of discernment. This frees you from all the natter and the busyness and the smallness, and has you absolutely step into the bigness of everything that you are meant for. So we're going to start today with a prayer, and then we will move it forward. Sound good? All right. Dear God, thank you. Thank you for everything that you have created us for. Thank you for all of the unlimited possibility. Thank you for the uniqueness in which you have created us each individually for. And we now open up We open up to your goodness. We open up to your truth. We open up to your benevolence. We open up to your abundance, knowing that truly with you, all things are possible. So in this moment, we surrender anything that's not working, anything that's not divine, anything that's not of you, so that we can have greater clarity on you and your incredible, incredible love and power. And we pray this believing. Amen, amen, amen. Okay, so the first step in creating your epic future is increasing your perception of yourself. That end of story. You have got to think more highly of yourself. You have got to think more about your capabilities, your brilliance, your talent, your worthiness. Because when you start thinking more highly of yourself, which does not mean being conceited, it just means actually valuing you at the level that God values you and the reason that your life was created. When you think more highly of yourself, by definition, you are raising your vibration. You are stepping into bigger thinking. You're accessing a whole different level of possibility when you are functioning from I am. I am capable. I am worthy. I am lovable. I am abundant. I am whatever it is that you decide to be, whatever it is that you desire to be. And so in that, I want you to know that this, though it takes training and it takes a habit and it takes cultivation, it also takes being around the right people. Because when you are surrounded with other people that hold you and themselves in high esteem, you just show up a little differently. You walk into a room differently, you think differently, and most importantly, you feel differently. And it's the feelings that have the vibrations that actually create the magnetism, and it's what draws the opportunities to you. The thoughts send the vibration out, but it's the feelings that draw it all in. And when you just know when you feel great about yourself, when you feel great in your skin, you feel great when you put on a certain outfit or when you walk into a certain room. And it's that feeling, when you've got maybe that person or that small group of people, when you walk in, like you can't do anything wrong. They just think that you're hysterical. They think that you're funny. Then all of a sudden you become funnier. They think that you're amazing and brilliant. All of a sudden, like you're just like coming up with the great insights and all of the things. Like they just think that you're everything, and then you show up as everything. I just want you to know that you can self-source that it doesn't have to come from someone else's opinion of you. It can help and it can remind you of who you are and what's inside of you. But ultimately, it's an opportunity for you as a woman to so deeply love yourself, to so deeply be there for yourself, to so deeply value yourself, that you're the one exuding this brilliance and this humor and this talent and this vivaciousness, because then you can bring that everywhere you go and you can send it into the ethers. And then whoever your clients are supposed to be and whoever your new social circle is supposed to be and whatever opportunity is supposed to come to you, then from that higher opinion of yourself, you will be drawing that to you. Now, the next step in creating the epic future is raising your consciousness. It's not enough to think a new thought, because sometimes it's the next level thinking that's actually needed. And if we can't see what's behind the veil or beyond the veil, then we don't actually have access to it. So doing the things that we love actually bring us into a higher level of consciousness. They lift our vibration. Just like failure begets failure, victimhood begets victimhood, success begets success. And when you put yourself in one higher step of consciousness and then another, it keeps leading all to that same direction. This is part of the power of the feminine, that when you are so deeply rooted into your own queenhood, you've got a higher perception of yourself, and then you're accessing the quantum field. You're accessing the unlimited nature. That's where the things that you couldn't have even thought up are coming in, ways in which you would normally have had to work or send emails out, and now you're drawing clients to you. Now the texts are incoming and you're not the one going out and pounding the pavement and grabbing the bull by the horns and doing all of the things. When you really understand that higher level of consciousness is where it's at, it's inside of you. The kingdom of heaven is within, it's not the outside. You stop spinning your wheels, you stop getting burnt out, and you start really getting invigorated with what actually is possible for you. Now, step 3 of creating the epic life, it's deepening your faith. It's really getting to this place where you know that you know that you know that it's not up to you. It's up to you and your relationship with God. It doesn't matter what it looks like on the outside, because you know that your good is coming to you on the inside. It doesn't matter that what the bank account shows. It matters what you know in your heart is coming to you. It doesn't matter what that social media post looked like with the 3 likes on it. It matters what you know you are creating from this place of ultimate desire. And so I find the work of deepening my faith and my spiritual connection is way more fun than figuring out how to do split testing and conversion rates and tweaking funnels and Facebook ads and pounding the pavement and making 100 calls a day. It's so unnecessary when you just know how to bring your good to you. And then when you really understand that using your time differently and using your heart differently and using everything that you have actually been given, this is what creates the transformation in your life. This new way of being, and it's not a new way, it's like a new way of us accessing it. It's been around since ancient times. But really allowing yourself to get to such a different place where you are then so spiritually connected that step 4 for your epic life is training your brain for success, training your brain for repeated experiences of success, that you are only looking for your good, that you're only imagining how awesome everything's going to be when everything does actually work out for you. The capacity that we have to train these beautiful minds of ours, we're missing out when we're just spending our days getting busy. We are missing out in the biggest ways. And then step 5 of creating the epic life, it's just about opening yourself up to get great at receiving. Get great at receiving. Receiving fun, receiving your desires, receiving abundance, receiving clarity, receiving confidence, receiving insight. It's all absolutely, absolutely available to you. So I want you to know that the feminine ways can look deceivingly simple. And they might even have you think like, oh, well, I know these things. But let me tell you, and myself included, to any degree that anything is going on in your life that isn't by conscious design, that isn't your desire, anywhere where there's a gap in between you and what you desire for your life, that's where there's room for these skills and this art of the feminine way of being, and this owning of your throne gets to deepen in you. Because this is the way that you will close that gap. This is the way that you will manifest your desires and still have a vivaciousness for life and energy and happiness and enthusiasm and community. It's simple. It's not necessarily easy, because we were taught in such different ways. So there's such an unlearning that needs to take place, such an unlearning that has to happen so that we can make this our new normal and make this our natural way of being. So it has been such a joy and an honor and a delight to switch gears and going from some of those masculine tactical pieces of business building and wealth creation and really, really get into the ways of the feminine that inspire and delight, where that creates flow and fun, where things happen more quickly and so much more easily. And that's why I really am just beyond delighted to be offering this program, the Audacity to be a Queen. That's the book, the Own Your Throne program, because it's given me a whole new lens into how I approach life. And I really take my whole self in mind. And I deeply consider myself, but I also deeply consider other people. And when you go through this process of owning your throne in every single area of your life, you just start to see the transformation take place, not just week by week. It's more like day by day and hour by hour, where the miracles are coming in, the abundance is there, the vision is clear, and life becomes so much easier. So that is my 5-step process of creating the epic life. Obviously, over the 10 weeks, we're going to go to it in great depth. For those of you that are going to join us, you can go to divineliving.com/own your throne. And I'll share a little bit more about the course that's coming up if you haven't yet registered for it. But today I'd like to open it up to you all. I've been doing a lot of talking over the past couple of days and sharing the inspiration and the insight and the wisdoms that's been coming my way. And I would love to be here to coach you on any questions that you have on anything that I've shared today or otherwise. Go ahead and raise your hand, get yourself in line. And, who's got questions about, if you have a yeah, but, or a what if, or how's this really work when it comes to money or getting clients or relationships or even calling in love into your life. Let's see who's got a question. You can go ahead and raise your hand, and I'm happy to open this up and let the community see and hear from you. All right, Carol Jack, we've got you up first. Hi, Carol.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Well, Gina, you may recall that I have a real issue with selling,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still trying to convince myself that there is an approach to selling that does not feel icky, doesn't feel pushy. And I'm still like trying to convince myself that I need to do more sales calls with people in order to get more clients. And so this stage I'm at now, I'm wondering, do I still need to be trying to force myself to do enrollment calls, or is there another way to look at enrollment calls so I can do them and feel better about them?
Sure. So this is a perfect example of the feminine art of getting great at receiving. I think the aversion that you, Carol, and so many women have around sales calls it's really around receiving money. As much as we want it, until we have really held ourselves at that level 1 that I was talking about and having a higher esteem of yourself, then it can feel very awkward. So I would say that, the reason why the sales calls and enrollment call thing isn't working or hasn't worked up until now is because you're focused on matter to matter. You're focused on the sales calls. What I want you to do as you're owning your throne is I want you to focus on having a higher esteem of yourself, really being the queen, because the queen has no problem receiving help, receiving support, receiving clients, students, sales calls, money, any of it. But until that has been developed, all the sales calls in the world won't do anything.
Thank you.
Great. You're
Thank you.
welcome. And we have Janessa next.
Hi, Gina. Thank you so
Hi.
much. So I've been listening to all of your content, essentially the podcast, love everything. Thank you for sharing so much of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Where I really find myself shrinking back from my throne is in building my business. So you talk about like the most dangerous, and danger isn't your word, but the most dangerous place to be is in these careers that provide everything that we need. And
Mm-hmm.
I have not always had a great deal of excess, but I've always been provided for, even as a child. So I don't know that not having or going without to have the motivation that other people have experienced, which you also talk about, creating that comfort. So then when it comes to, I can build this business to provide for myself, I shrink away from that and continue in this career where I've been very awarded, very, very successful. And that's all me too. But when I look at it, I see it differently. Like working for someone, I bring something different to that table versus my own table of my own business.
Yep. I know it so, so well. It was, so many women like us, we have no problem working. We have no problem giving. We have no problem celebrating others and all of that. And when I went into my own business, like the thought of receiving money or working with a client for money that like I literally would have rather have done it for free, I was so uncomfortable receiving. And that's really, I wish I could bring up a different subject, but it's just not. It's so core for us as women. And that's what I would really want you to work on, Janessa, is going through your own level of worthiness. And are you joining us for the course? Have you signed up for it?
I haven't decided yet.
You haven't decided? What's to decide?
A couple of other opportunities around the same time and having so many hours in a day and a full-time job and a business. So priorities.
So the opportunity here is getting that it's not about more hours in the day. You can listen to you can be on the live calls, you can listen to the recording in your own timing. And this is what's going to teach you how to receive and also how to not have to work all the time. Anybody that's in lack in any way, this class is perfect for. Whether it's lack of time, lack of money, lack of love, lack of confidence, lack of clarity. Because what that is, it's the injured feminine instinct. And so that we know masculinity is about giving and femininity is about receiving. And I would just take a look at you'll also really get a big transformation around your own money story, because clearly you have time to consume all my free stuff, the podcasts and everything else.
While I work the full-time job, which is kind of mindless. So yes, it's a great way to expand my mind while I'm in that kind of rut, if you will.
Look at you do what's right for you. I'm just letting you know that the pieces that need to adjust are these. When I used to tell myself that I didn't have time to meditate or I would do it if I had enough time, it got to the point where I realized nothing in my life was going to change or make it matter if I didn't get to a higher level of consciousness, and then therefore if I didn't meditate. So it literally got to the place where I would meditate before I would do even other things. And so that's what you're going to see in this course, is like everything is just going to get turned around in terms of priorities, in terms of how you're spending your time, in terms of like what you are doing, the decisions that you are making, any of you being in full-time jobs, that if you're not lit up by it, there's an opportunity to do things differently. And that only comes from getting great at being feminine, because the feminine is about receiving. Make sense?
Yep. Thank you.
Sure. Let's do one more. Who's this beauty on the iPhone coming in next? In the pink tank top? I'm not seeing it. Yep, that's you, gorgeous. Unmute yourself.
Hi, Gina.
Hi. Also, hi, Edith. Well, yes, this is who we're looking for here. In the purple tank top. Yes.
Me.
What's your name?
Yes. Charlene Gina. Hi.
Oh my gosh, it's you. Look at you, beauty. It's so great to have you here. What's your question?
Lovely to see you. So nice to see you. I want to talk about trust and strengthening this trust muscle, because I believe in manifestation, like massively. I've manifested so much, just things have just come out of nowhere for me. But I'm getting a little bit stuck with something at the moment, because it doesn't just involve me. And I want to trust and kind of take the leap and make a decision on something, but I feel like I'm holding myself back from it just in case it doesn't work out. But then it's like, okay, but what if it did work out? And by not trusting and taking the steps that kind of say, oh, I'm really trusting this, am I kind of putting, I don't know, a hot, like, wet blanket on the manifestation from happening? Does that make sense?
Do you want to share any of the details and then maybe can support you back?
Yeah. So I'm selling my home, and that's a hell yes, that's happening. And going for travel. Now, my son, he's in the final year of what we call primary school, about to go into secondary school. I want to homeschool for next year. So the plan was generally around this time to apply for secondary school, high schools. I don't want to do it. I don't want to apply for high schools for him. I want to trust this decision I'm making to sell, to travel, to homeschool. That's the dream. But it's kind of this window where you've got to apply for these schools. And I'm like, by applying, am I minimizing risk just in case my desire doesn't kind of come to fruition in the right time? Or am I being sensible by actually applying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So
Yeah,
I think you're making applying means something that it doesn't. Applying for the high schools does not mean if this doesn't work out, like here's plan B. It just means that what if the energy changes by then? And that's what, because you're still going to homeschool and travel for the year, right?
I mean, that's my, as soon as I've sold the property, and of course that's down to the universe. I've done my bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's yeah. And I'm like, I know it's going to sell soon, but obviously when there's a kid involved, you can't.
Yeah, well, when does high school start? Next September?
Next September, yeah.
I mean, look at, as a woman who's on the road traveling, you know, I think that I wouldn't make it mean that you're doing anything wrong, your plan's not going to work out. You're going to go do it for a year. And if you decide to do it for another year after that, you will, if that's what's right. Or if you decide, you know what, this year was great and now let's do it differently and go to high school, then you can do that. I just see you giving yourself options.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's not kind of dampening down my desire. Yeah.
Not at all. It would be like, especially, it would be like me making a couple of reservations for New Year's Eve. If I can cancel them and pull out, like, I don't know where I want to be next year for New Year's Eve, but I'm going to plan a snow something and a beach something, you know, and then we'll see what mood I'm in for. But because I, you know, reserving both and I can cancel, you can always withdraw the application, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you.
I'm excited for you. Beautiful, 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 ladies. Let's bring up Brenna's next.
Well, hi, Gina. It's been a while.
It has. So good to see you. What's your question today?
So, as I've changed over the last couple years and raised my vibration and my energy, relationships around me have changed immensely.
I'm sure.
I am pissing people off left and right. How is the best way to, like, I don't want to necessarily cut people out of my life, but the relationships have changed into where I categorize them almost as toxic. Like I can barely say hello to certain people without pissing them off. And it's,
well, I think
work, family, relationship, everywhere.
Yeah, you know, it's
deal with that as you change.
Becoming queen is really about understanding a new set of boundaries. And that often includes a new set of people and doesn't include, you know, a typical set of people. And, you know, when you get so great at owning your throne, you get, it's, I mean, you can't take responsibility for someone else's actions. You can take responsibility for having zero availability for toxicity in your life. and so sometimes the boundaries are a little more firm than others. So I would just support you in all of the beautiful growth and the forward movement that you've got going on, and really let your yes be yes and your no be no, and trust it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's helpful.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right, my loves. Well, I just want to jump over to divineliving.com/own your throne. And for those of you that haven't gotten yourself registered, get yourself in. You are not going to be disappointed by being in this incredible, incredible vortex. I'll go over the course curriculum over the 10 weeks so that you can see just some of what you'll be getting. You're going to, in week 1, fall in love with your life and declare your non-negotiable desires. In week 2, you're going to master the skill of self-permission and never doubt yourself again. Week 3, we go into becoming untriggerable and eliminating self-sabotage. Week 4 is for such a time as this. What are you meant for? Week 5 is what we've been talking about so much here today. Get great at receiving and serving by making spirituality your superpower. Week 6, wake up to your truth by accessing your intuition. Week 7 is the courage to communicate like a queen. Week 8 is rewrite the hidden subconscious contracts that ruin your life. And week 9 is strengthen your self-worth and live up to your unique purpose with confidence. And week 10 is living your legendary life using the feminine art of manifesting. So if you go to divineliving.com/own your throne, you will see over to the left, here's the 10-week virtual course option where we'll do 2-hour live calls each and every week. You're going to get a welcome packet that I will personally read, workbook, meditation, and prayers each and every week. And it is a $9.97 investment, or you can jump in on the payment plan for $99 a month. I'm also including my A-List Accelerator, which is basically a life cleanse. So for those of you that sign up and register now, it's going to prepare you so well for this incredible course that starts October 4th. And then if you're interested in joining me live in person in Santa Monica, you can get the virtual course plus the retreat. And that's what's in the second column here. Or the third column is the virtual course plus the retreat plus a year-long mastermind. If you're not sure what's right for you, definitely start with the virtual program. It is so in-depth, it's so rich. You just get incredible knowledge, content, community, all of it every single week for 10 weeks in these 2-hour slots. Plus you get lifetime access to the recordings. It's absolutely, it's just such an honor to be able to teach this class. I've taught it once. It's going to be my second time going through it. I'm learning so much. I deepen myself in my own queenhood. Everything that I'm doing, where I'm going, what's happening, it's all because of the content that's in this course. It's really about us opening up to the biggest transformation that we absolutely know is possible. So if that's for you, come join us, come play, get yourself in divineliving.com/own your throne. My team will put the link in the chat box there. Get yourself registered. You are not going to be disappointed. Trust. I know the women who've already gone through it, their lives are changed, and many of them are going through it again with us. It is that powerful. All right, my darlings. Well, thank you so much for being here today. It has been such a joy and pleasure. Go get yourself in the course. I will see you live in the course. And when you get in today, you'll get that access to the A-List Accelerator right away. So don't delay. Go take care of yourself. Get in there, and I'll see you in the live class. Lots of love, everyone. Bye-bye.